We interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story.
It's the dance and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's some handwritten letters from home. It's some sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. It's red, white, and blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. 40 stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California. Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue laid down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, 40 stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was a man out when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to boot and rave, just to see the flags still wave. And then he came home with all he wanted. It's Mr. Red, White, and Blue laid down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, all these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on this line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, 40 stars and stripes. Marching line, marching line. Hey, hey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here we are. It is Monday. I know this is like really crazy stuff we're doing here, but it's mission based because Sunday we had a big event to do yesterday in the city of Erie where all the candidates came in and had a nice chit chat. You got the meet and greet and talk and just be mingling. And I was really sad Chuck Nelson didn't come over and say hi to me. I mean, that was the low point of my day. I had to like just sit there in my safe spot and just watch what was going on. It was so funny. I just got to tell a story. I mean, I wish I would have got it on video, but I didn't have my camera running at the time. Chucky goes up there to talk, and somebody in the crowd, I don't know who it was because I was in the front row, goes, "Without a pay raise," because the whole shenanigans behind city council putting together a huge pay raise for whoever's going to get this job here come November. Isn't that just convenient? Chucky got the vote on his own huge, humongous, he's not going to get it, pay raise. So it was good. It was nice to see, the Democrats talking to Republicans, Republicans talking to Democrats. Some of the snotty Democrats, they didn't, they did not even come over and say hi to us, but I was sad. I was really in my sad mode. And I, just sat there and played on my phone and got yelled at for that. That's another story. I'll leave that alone. But let's give it a second for the channels to warm up. They're all warming up, which is nice to see everybody come in on a Monday. It is election time. We are just, T-minus hours away from the primary. The T-shirts have been made. The door knocking has been knocked. The Facebook posts have been up and done. People out just handing cards out and getting ready for the primary. It's going to be an interesting primary. The big races are of course going to be in the city, because that's what's up the big prize. You got the mayor, you got two Democrats, one Republican. The Republican gets a pass because there's no other Republicans running. So you have two Democrats running, and I tell Daria, I've never heard her speak before, but she's really good at what she does. She has a great presentation. She's a go-getter. I get that, and I think she might just pull that off. That's just my opinion. My opinion. Mr. Dave, welcome aboard, sir.
Good evening, Brian.
How are we doing today?
What's that?
I said, how are you doing today?
Oh, just peachy. Everything's looking good here in the Lower East Side. I got the report I got. I still haven't seen anybody coming in or going out of the bank or at the ATM machine.
So they're not. Are they open?
Oh yeah, they're open. As many times as I go up and down this street, I still have yet to see anybody go in or out or at the ATM. Now I did see two people come out of the Taste of Love restaurant there the other day.
Oh, that's big stuff, man.
Yep, two people came out of there. But
wow.
Give me your prediction for city council on the Democrat side. I have my prediction, and do you know all the names and all that, or you want me to go first?
Well, no, go ahead. You're the guest. Go ahead and give us your opinion. That's what we're here to talk about.
Well, there's four openings. There's
Right.
going to be four. There's four openings on the Democrat side and on the Republican, as you well know.
Yes.
Now, this is my prediction on the four Democrats that are going to win.
Lay it on me.
And I don't feel good saying this, but this is just a prediction. I think Mr. Troop will be one.
I agree.
I think Mr. Horton is going to be two.
I'm okay with that too.
And what really pains me is I think Jasmine will be number three.
Yeah, I disagree with you on that one.
Okay, well, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, hey, I'm just saying, that's what we're talking about. I want to give you a hard disagree on that one.
Okay. And all right, and then the number 4 pick, this is the key one. This is the big one. I don't know who's going to get the 4th pick. I think it's between the three. I think it's a toss-up between Cooley, Pohl, and this whatever his name is, Farabund, or
yeah,
that's who I'm going to vote for. That guy. I'm going to vote for Pohl and whatever his last name is. I can't remember it.
Right. No.
I believe he's an attorney, though.
I believe he is also. So I mean, he'd be the sharpest guy in the book, and he would be a good pick.
So you got those two, and who's your other two then? Or don't you have a second two? You apparently you're saying no to Jasmine.
No, I don't think she's going to make it. Yeah.
Okay, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
So who's going to be third and fourth.
Well, and that's, I don't think Cooley's going to make it. I just don't think he has it.
I hope you're right on that one too.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, I'm not going to dive deep into why, but I mean, my theory is, his he's got some paperwork as long as my arm, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah,
and
right.
I just think that's going to be, I think that's bad mojo. I mean, I know Erie PD kind of endorsed him. I kind of disagreed with that one, but it's your union, and I'm just the guy on the outside. So I think there's your two losers. I think it's going to be Cooley and Miss Jasmine. I think there's your there's your two outies, because you gotta lose two.
Yeah, and then so that'll give you Pole and Vandervelde, I think is his name.
Yes, I think you're right.
The V Vandervelde.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. So I mean,
you're picking Troop, Horton, Vandervelde, and Pole.
Yep.
Losers are going to be Jasmine.
Yep.
And Cooley.
Yep. I agree. That's what my official prediction. I might have to eat a piece of humble pie tomorrow, but hey, I like pie.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. That would be the best outcome that there could possibly be, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be the best outcome.
Yeah. No,
on the Democrat side.
On the Democrat side, the four. Yeah. The four ladies. They're just there. They get a pass, but it'll be fun to watch the math, though. And that's what you got to do, is you got to watch their math. Hey, Mark, you got to watch the math on how many people did the crossover. Did we have Democrats write them in on the Republican side? And how many, who jockeys for the top spot on those four? I mean, it's really irrelevant, because those four go, and then, then you got to battle it out in the fall. And that's where it gets sticky, because that's where the real race comes in play. And
then the mayor's race, that's a tough one to call there.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was there. They broke a story today. They had a story about they're having a motorcycle rally in the city of Erie. And I was watching it. It was on Channel 24's Facebook page. He is getting pummeled, and even more pummeled about this whole thing. It's the fact that, you got rid of Roar on the Shore. Now they want to make a motorcycle rally for, the kids of the inner city. Well, that's what Roar on the Shore did, is, they took that money and then they donated back into charities throughout Erie County, not just the city kids. But again, here we are just focusing on the city, where it's about the county. And I said, you know what? First of all, I wouldn't drive my motorcycle down State Street with a red hat on if you paid me. That street I've never been to Iraq, but I can just imagine that's what it's like. But just asphalt and stop signs. It's horrendous.
Yes, it is.
And you want people to bring their motorcycles down there and have a rally? No way. No way. So I was watching the social media feeds, and Joe's getting pummeled. And of course, my smart comment was, gee, isn't that convenient? Right before a primary, they launch a big ticket project. Isn't that convenient? And I'm like, too little, too late.
Yeah. Now, I was listening to your favorite radio host today, Joel. And did you hear that it's something that has something to do with Latinos or something, or did he just throw that in there or something?
I don't watch the show anymore. Only time I watch it when Dean's on there. I text Dean. Dean said, nope, he's going to be on between 3 and 6 tomorrow for their coverage of the election. So I didn't even bother. I'm done. I mean, he.
Okay, but did you hear anything about it being like something for maybe Joe mentioned it, inner city Latinos or something like that regarding this motorcycle rally?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said,
okay.
I just read. I was just watching the story online and all the comments.
Okay, well, maybe it was Joel that mentioned it. There's something.
Yeah.
Because you did say it's for the inner city
Utes, yeah,
or what have you.
Yeah, the Utes in the city.
So I do believe he mentioned the word Latino in that while he was reading reading about that motorcycle rally or whatever it's going to be called. So I emailed him. I said, this is a Latino motorcycle rally. I said, you better make sure that Jasmine gets her VIP ticket.
And she better get somebody to bring her on a trike and ride her around or one of those slingshots,
Right.
so she can be the queen. I don't know how they say it, and habla español, but Kim Hunter just posted up there Mo, Horton, Cooley, and Pohl. So there's
Horton,
her. Yeah,
Cooley and Cole. Well,
Pohl,
I wouldn't like that one either.
yeah, I mean, just the Cooley thing. Not a big fan of him. He used to come to county council all the time, and he just, was just one of these negative guys, and he would yell at us for the shit going on in the city. And I remember when council meeting, they were yelling at us about some of the stuff that was going on in the city, and I just went and I said, "You see that tall guy right there with the glasses? That's the mayor. Talk to him."
Talk to him.
We have nothing to do with the inner workings of city government, but they just have to come in there and just want to flap their yappers to be hear themselves talk. And I'm like, we have no say over city council or the mayor. He's right there. The guy's right there, third row, fifth seat over. Talk to him.
Right.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the controllers race.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting. I'm going to go with a hard with San Filippo.
You're going to go with San Filippo?
Yep. She
I can live with that.
She's the sharpest tack in the box. I think she has the most experience.
Now, yeah. I got a question. I got a question for you. I don't know if you know it or not regarding Miss San Filippo. In the paper today, it stated that her father-in-law, was what's his face? Oh boy! See what happens when you get old.
I don't read the paper. So
the one that
Flo.
Go with the Flo Fabrizio.
Yeah, they're all related.
Now, if that was her father-in-law, how can? And she's married to, I believe, that deputy sheriff. Am I right on that?
See, yes, that because I believe Tony and
would that have been a possible divorce deal prior, or maybe a death?
No clue. No clue.
Previous husband.
No clue.
If her father, because she said she got involved in politics from her ex-father-in-law, Flo Fabrizio.
It was Flo. Yeah, because I remember I was talking to her last night. Nice lady, well qualified, smart, intelligent.
Right.
She said she wanted to call the show tonight. So I'm like, all right, well, here's.
Maybe she'll call and. I just heard that. I'm just trying to figure it out what the deal was, but
I don't know. She said she.
Oh, it's a Flo. I know a couple of Fabrizios. Good people.
Yeah, And you meet any San Filippo, you met them, they're all related. I had Tony San Filippo. He was a teacher at Harbor Creek and he played for Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Until he blew his name.
That's not the sheriff, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
He is Tony San Filippo, but they named him after, I believe, an uncle.
Oh, all right.
They're all related, man. This is eerie.
Yeah.
They're all related.
So either they're related or they know each other. Everybody knows each other.
Erie's not that big and it's getting smaller and smaller.
And I felt really slighted this year. Mayor didn't come to my door.
Yes, he did. You showed me the video.
That was 4 years ago.
Oh, I was like, dude, I saw the video.
Oh, that was that would have been 4 years ago.
Sorry. I was like, wait a minute. You just listen. I know you're getting old, but dang, dude, that was just a couple days ago.
That was a rerun. That was a video rerun that I put up.
The highlights.
Yeah.
Political
that
highlights.
was a rerun from the mayor. But I didn't unless I wasn't home. Probably wasn't home, or I was upstairs and he rang the downstairs doorbell. So who knows?
Would make sense because he had a mask on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was the COVID time.
Yep. Yeah, he had a mask on.
That's why he had the mask on.
Yes, sir.
So, other than that, that's all I got to report down here.
Well, that's where we came in on the Monday night before the election, just to kind of talk about this political football and throw some predictions out there and see what we got.
So I'll be down there at Front and German. That's my voting place. Right. The Russian church auditorium, I guess you'd call it.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm just gonna
stick a big Democrat stronghold.
Wow, that's way most of the
big
city
time.
Is. Yeah. No, I totally get it, and that's why they're down 40, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
They keep voting for the same stuff and expecting something different. It don't
Yeah.
work that way.
All righty. Have a good one.
All
Good
right,
luck
sir.
for tomorrow.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Get out
All right.
there and vote.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Shank out.
Yep.
So there you go. Like I said, we had some predictions. If you got your predictions, type them in the room here, and I'll make sure I put them in there. Hey, Mark, I see Matt's here. Kim's here. Yeah, the gang's. Anna's here. I think I saw. Where did Mr. Tobin go? There he is. There he is. Long live the king. And I had Tony Sanfilippo, right? Yeah, like I said, Tony. He was a teacher at Harbor Creek. He was tough. He was a tough hombre, man. I'm telling you. That was back in the days where you could get corporal punishment for being stupid. Someone was sticking. All right, Kim, you're live.
Well, hello, everybody. I hope everybody's ready to rock that boat tomorrow.
I totally agree with you.
I hope if you got a couple spare minutes, get a hold of one of the candidates and or get a hold of Brenda or Brian or myself or Tim Kuzma, and we'll set you up at a poll and give you some flyers to set out. We are ready to rock this thing. I am so excited. I was letting Miss Brenda know earlier today. I actually got a text message from Mr. Joe Natale.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Said, yeah, and he said if you want to call in tomorrow, let us know how the polls are going.
Yeah, that's that. I know when I was a candidate, they always said, "Hey, just give us a call in." Remember they come in after 3. Don't call it 3. Don't call it 3:30. Don't call it 4:00 because they're on commercial break. So.
Well, and then I ended up texting him back later on. I said, "Well, I told him where I'd be," and he goes, "Well, do you happen to know where Brian will be?" I said, "Well, I happen to know where Brian will be." He goes, "Well, tell him if he wants to, go ahead and call in." I said, "I will relay the message to him for you, sir."
Well, I'll have to give him a call. Maybe, then Shani can yell at me for when I was mean to her.
Yeah, well, we all have a time when we've been mean to Shani, but it's not like it was well deserved, and she doesn't put those little punches in. But I just thought yesterday was just a great day. I want to give a shout out to the Ushers Club at Holy Trinity for putting on that event. It was just a wonderful event.
Good event. It was a good first time I ever, because like I said, I've never really been involved in Erie politics. So, I never went in there, and then, you wanted me to go, and I'm like, all right. So it was fun. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to see, the Democrats and Republicans, the majority of them, except for, Mr. Puss face himself, Sam Tallarico, looked like he wants to kill somebody in the back of the room. Man, he just
yeah, he walked right by me. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he just glared at me, and the mayor took me a look at him. He goes, "Yeah, he's not too nice." I said, "You know it." But it was great, and it was so funny. I gotta let everybody out there know, the old school Democrats, they were so nice and friendly to Brian and I. And I looked at Carl Anderson, some of them, and I said, "You gotta admit, okay, the old blue is the new red." And they didn't argue with us.
No, they didn't, because they know it's the truth. It's the truth. Why can't we all be in a room and sit around and talk, and get along? And it was just so funny, and even when, oh God, this pains me to say this, even when Jimmy Wirtz was the chairman of the Democrat Party, when he wasn't attacking me, he was at least civil during meetings. And if we we bumped into each other. Tallarico, he looks like he wants to rip your face off and eat it for dinner. It's like, man, the guy's a teacher. Just imagine the trauma he charged all those poor kids.
Oh, yeah. I don't know which would be worse, being a teacher, him or Tom Eddy. That's a toss up. But, on the bright side, I just got to let people know, Brian's just sitting there, just eating his food and everything. I'm swearing to you guys, he must have had 20 Democrats coming up to him. "Hey, how are you doing, Brian? Are you having a good day? How you feel about the election?" I'm telling you guys and girls, they were fearing him. I was rolling. But Brian, you got to tell people the Mrs. Mursky story for me, please.
Oh, man, should I, or am I going to get in trouble? All right. Excuse me. I'll be as nice as possible. I was sitting there, literally had a plate of carrots and celery and some ranch and a Diet Coke. I'm just sitting there minding my business. And a nice lady comes up and says, excuse me. And she's kind of tapping on the table. I said, yes. She goes, this is the Mirsky table. And I looked down the table and I saw all our stuff. And I'm like, not today. It isn't.
I was
So,
scrolling.
so then she's like, well, it's tradition that we sit here. I'm like, I thought she was joking, but then I realized she wasn't joking. And she goes, you need to learn some manners. You have a nice day, ma'am. And she walked away, and it ended up being, the mother.
But I'm telling you what, that Emily Mirsky, I mean, she must have come up to you 20 times trying to be your best pal.
She apologized. I said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. I mean, you know what? I told her, I said jokingly, if I would have had a pen in my hand, I would have just wrote Shank on the table and watch her head explode.
And I thought it was so funny. But, speaking of Mrs. Mirsky, I got to throw this out there for everybody. Please, please, please vote for Leanne Orton. She is the only true Republican on that ballot when you guys go to vote for judge. I put it on the Red Hats chat, and I'll put it on the other one. You got to vote for, we are supporting Joshua Prince. We are supporting Maria Batista and Leanne Orton. Those are the three races actually I'm most concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, well, because these are on a big stage. I mean, these are not just an Erie County issue. These are, Joshua Prince. I got his artwork up now. Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania. I mean, come on, that's a pretty big run, And there's Maria Batista, Superior Court. I've learned a lot. I mean, I didn't know nothing about any of this stuff until I actually really started working with them and talking with them and having the conversations. And of course, locally, you have Mirsky running against Miss Orton. So I mean, you make up your mind, do the research. One says she's a Republican, the one we know she's a Democrat, but loves to tap dance around that she's not a Democrat, but we know she is. And especially when her husband's out, someone's just typed in the room about Bob out knocking doors. I think that's a little inappropriate. He is a state representative. He is a person of influence out knocking doors for his wife. I think that is so inappropriate and should not even be allowed because it's
a huge conflict of interest.
It's a conflict of interest, and it's almost an abuse of power because he's a state rep. Last time I remember, he's supposed to be working for us. And I understand they have lunch breaks. They get all that. They do all this stuff after hours and stuff like that. But I think going out campaigning for his wife is really inappropriate. And I especially as a duly elected state representative, I've had people send me pictures of him on their Ring cameras. Like, is that Bob Mirsky? I'm like, yeah, that's Bob Mirsky. Well, why is he doing that? Because he's a Democrat and he can.
Right. Well, and I remember you were standing there with me when I was talking to Jake Banta, and even Jake Banta says, as a duly elected state representative, they are not encouraged to even give endorsements.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was standing right there. Jake's like, we're not even supposed to give endorsements. But, I don't think Bob gave his wife an endorsement, but he was out there knocking doors for her. And I think
I would consider that an endorsement.
Huge inappropriate. But hey, you know what?
Yeah.
File the ethics people, and you'll get an answer in 6 months to a year.
Well,
speaking of,
I believe is unethical. Perry Woods cares so much about representing everybody, wants to be the county executive. He couldn't even show up yesterday, but what does he do? He has Rockefeller Copeland, blockhead, speaking for him, who's in charge of the Board of Elections,
Vice
and then
chairman.
has to throw a few zingers in there about Brenton Davis.
Oh yeah,
totally conflict of interest, totally inappropriate,
okay.
and the man should have been there himself. It's not like he's an incumbent.
We were looking over his finance reports. There's the chairman of the Erie County Board of Elections donating money. And speaking of endorsements, look at this one. This is I had the artwork of Perry Wood, a county executive, proudly endorsed by Ryan Bizzarro. Now here's the kick in the teeth. Just a friendly reminder. you stop, rewind, go back last year when Perry was not cooperating with county council and they wanted some answers on the monies, and he's being very secretive. He's not being transparent, and so they all came together, bipartisan. Dan Laughlin, Bretton Davis, Harkins, Mirsky, all signed the paperwork saying that yes, Auditor General, please take a look at it. Would you want to guess who was the only state representative in Erie County that did not sign that letter? Anybody want to guess? Ryan
Let's start with
Bizzarro.
the letter. Yeah, the clown. Yeah.
Ryan Bizzarro, that is endorsing Wood, would not support Perry Wood to be investigated. I'm not investigated, audited, because there's no inappropriate. It's just they're being audited. That's why people are so pissed off and so get mad at the Democrats, because they just go out of their way to cheat, lie, steal, and be as dirty as they can, because they know they're going to get away with it. But I was just like, I saw this, someone sent it to me. If you need a reason not to vote for Perry Wood, is a vote for Perry Wood is a vote for Ryan Bizzarro. And you know what? That shit might fly on the other side of the county, but not over here. And he was the only dirty, rotten scoundrel that would not sign that paper. Bipartisan. It was bipartisan. I was shocked Mirsky signed it. I was shocked Harkins signed it. That we should have this looked at, because it's by the law. They're supposed to, but Perry Wood thinks he's above the law. And my prediction, he's going to get a big fat lose tomorrow.
Well, and I also predict that Chuck Nelson's going to get a big fat lose tomorrow as well.
Miss Sam Flippo is going to clean his clock, because Chucky isn't as popular as you think is. It's just like you were out on the phone. I already told the story once about how hi, I'm Chuck Nelson. I'm running for controller. Yeah, without the pay raise.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why couldn't I record that?
But Chuck is so full of himself. When did he arrive at that event? Right before he had a chance to talk. And as soon as he was done, he bailed out there. And right. Dave, if Dave's still listening, Miss Jasmine didn't even show up.
Well, I don't think she has to, because she is Her Majesty, and her servants of the city of the Erie will just come to her beckoning call, or they've already voted for her, or they've got a truckload of 1,500 extra ballots for her. So hey, what do I know?
Right. Now, she might make it through. I'm not saying she isn't, but I got it on good authority through her best friend on city council. He doesn't think she's going to make it through.
No,
but we'll wait and see.
I was reading some threads online from the Latino community. They are pissed off at her about this whole KKK red hat thing,
Yeah.
Because that is nothing but racism. It's racist, and it's permeating, it's dividing. It does nothing other than drill down on your base, and you guys are going to die on this hill. Isn't it amazing how every week there's a new thing for them to be mad about? The guy from El Salvador, and then the guy that the kid was shot and unalived. So the dad got mad and just randomly unalived another cop, and they're trying to make him a hero and making T-shirts because he did the right thing, an eye for an eye. No, that's not.
The guy that stalked and killed the CEO of the insurance company.
Oh yeah, that story's done. That was 6 months ago's hero. Now they got to move on to the newest. What's the newest hero thing?
Yeah, unbelievable. But anyways, tomorrow will be very interesting, and I really think, that Leanne, like I said, and I'm praying for Maria, because, and look at little Maria, she was supposed to be in Pittsburgh, but she drove all the way to Harbor Creek because she wanted to take part in the big truck event, and then ended up pouring her little thing. And then she ends up, and then she texts, I'm like, hey, Leanne's going to Edinburgh for another festival. And she goes, okay, I'll meet Leanne in Edinburgh. And so wet as a little mouse. She ends up driving to Edinburgh and then spends the day with Leanne Orton to support each other and our campaigning in Edinburgh.
It's a teamwork. And as a matter of fact, I got a nice picture up on the screen of Tim Kuzma, Maria in the back of the truck with her sign. I just love that sign. It's a really humbling. Hey, I'm just out here putting signs up like everybody else. So
Yeah, yeah, and she can barely see over the top of the sign. I just love that.
and it's a 4-foot sign. I'm just saying.
Yes, yes. So, like I said, when you go to vote tomorrow, check on one of your elderly neighbors, see if they need a ride, or check with your daughter or your son. Say, hey, have you voted? Okay, come on, mom's going to take you or dad's going to take you, because like Brian and I have said, these small elections are what's going to really affect your pocketbook. They're going to keep you from getting your water and your sewage connected on the bills. We're going to get those fees lowered. And please, 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 I would personally really appreciate everybody's support with this election. I know I have a ride through, but, I still would like to see them votes out there, and with that, I'm going to let everybody go. And I know it's going to be cold, but if you can get out there, I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. And be nice to your poll workers. They have a hard job, and just be nice and be kind and be patient with them.
All right. That's some good words. Just get out and vote, man.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brenda. Love you both.
I'll
Bye-bye.
talk to you. Bye. Yep. Like I said, this is like I said, that's why we wanted to do a kind of little pep rally Monday night. We couldn't do it Sunday, so we'll move it to Monday, and we'll be back on our regular scheduled post election on Wednesday at 8 p.m. We will look at all the results. The majority of them should be in. It's not going to be a big turnout rate. We know that. So they should have been able to get through there pretty quick. I know we bought a lot of cool machines to help the Board of Elections and do the voting, which really, really made it. I saw one of those new mail trucks today. I was driving down the road. My God, are those the most ugliest vehicles I have ever seen in my life? It's got a windshield as big as a Mack truck, and it has a big stupid nose, like somebody poked you in the nose and it's swollen. I had to take a double take. I was like, oh my God, there it is. There's I think those things were like $4 million a copy or something ridiculous. Electric vehicles. Thank you, Joe Biden. But yeah, well, Ms. Sam Flippo, if you're listening and you want to call in, just shoot me a text. That way I know your number, or just give it a call and we'll give it a shot. Brenda, you got a video for us?
President Trump has been on a historic tour of the Middle East this week. We're coming to you live for the MAGA Minute from Abu Dhabi, so let's roll through it. This week in the Middle East, President Trump marked a new era of American foreign policy, encouraging peace and prosperity through strength. President Trump announced a $600 billion commitment in investments from the country of Saudi Arabia, which will mean hundreds of thousands of new jobs in your communities. In Qatar, the president signed a historic agreement to generate an economic exchange with the United States worth $1.2 trillion. And the dealmaker-in-chief also announced a historic sale of American-made Boeing aircrafts and American-made GE Aerospace engines to Qatari Airways. Finishing off the trip in the United Arab Emirates, the president announced more than $200 billion in commercial deals between the United States and the UAE. The president this week also signed a historic initial trade deal with China to reduce tariffs and to continue discussing opening Chinese markets to American-made products and goods. President Trump also secured a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, literally preventing a nuclear war. President Trump and Special Envoy Witkoff secured the release of American Eden Alexander, the last remaining American hostage in Gaza, after 584 days in Hamas captivity. And on the home front, President Trump signed an executive order putting American patients first to lower your drug prices and to end foreign nations paying cheaper money for drugs and ripping off American pharmaceutical innovation. Inflation fell to its lowest level in more than 4 years this past month. It was certainly a packed week, and we look forward to working with Congress next week to pass the one big, beautiful bill, which means the greatest tax cuts in history. We'll see you back in Washington for next week's MAGA Minute.
Yeah. If you're not taking a nap because you're tired from all the winning, you need to take a nap from all the winning. I mean, this is just great news for everybody. The haters are going to hate. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You watch when he gets the Nobel Peace Prize, the left will come unglued, and it's he's doing things that other presidents wish they could do. But yeah, it's just an amazing time we're at, and that's why we keep really trying to tell you folks that these elections are important. All these elections are important. Turnout is important, and that's what we keep trying to tell you folks is you got to get out and vote. Grab a friend, grab somebody. Hey, Josh, nice to see you. I heard you're home. That's good. So yeah, other than that, Brenda, got another video?
In my home, the America I love, the America I've written about, that has been a beacon of hope and liberty for 250 years, is currently in the hands of a corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous administration. Tonight, we ask all who believe in democracy and the best of our American experience to rise with us, raise your voices against authoritarianism, and let freedom ring. The last check on power, after the checks and balances of government have failed, are the people. You and me. It's in the union of people around a common set of values. Now, that's all that stands between democracy and authoritarianism. So at the end of the day, all we've really got is each other. Now, easy, Roy. There's some very weird, strange, and dangerous shit going on out there right now. In my country, they're taking sadistic pleasure in the pain that they inflict on loyal American workers. They're defunding American universities that won't bow down to their ideological demands. They're removing residents off American streets and without due process of law are deporting them to foreign detention centers and prisons. This is all happening now. A majority of our elected representatives have failed to protect the American people from the abuses of an unfit president and a rogue government. They have no concern or idea of what it means to be deeply American.
Because I used to love her, but it's all over now. Because I used to love her, but it's all over now.
Yeah. We wanted to play that video just to see to show you people what kind of crap these stars are saying out there. Democracy, democracy, democracy. Republic, republic, and don't forget republic. I was at an event and it was a couple years ago, and I played Born in the USA, and I got told never to play that at that event again. So Jeep has dumped the boss because he wants to slam the country that has made him millions of dollars, a privileged life, and you just have one job, and that's to be the entertainer, not the politician. He has his opinion, and I get that, but hey, that's nice to see that the folks are not buying his shenanigans. Now, before we go, really, a guy that's been keeping a really low profile in local politics that is actually a mover and a shaker. It's right here on my microphone, Steve Oler. Steve Oler is one of the Harbor Creek Township supervisors. He is running for reelection. This is he'll be his second run. He just kind of like wanted to keep a low profile and work everything. He doesn't have a Democrat challenger. He doesn't have a Republican challenger, but he takes his politics very seriously. He's done a great job out here in Harbor Creek. Proud to say that, whenever we have a problem, all three of our supervisors are very, very approachable. Oh, Donnie, you're live. Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry about that. I'm in my car. It was shifting over.
Oh, hey, yeah,
I apologize.
No, that's okay. You're live. What's up?
Hey, I want to shift over. I apologize about Bruce Springsteen. What a moron.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I don't know. Billionaires, oligarchy.
Yeah.
No, I want to shift back to the city because I don't know if you saw my post late today. A friend of mine who works in the city at a local hospital, but lives in Mill Creek, got a letter in the mail today. His employer inadvertently over withdrew on his paycheck $400 for his local tax, and he was owed $400. And he got an apology letter from Berkheimer that states that the city has enacted whatever from way back when, that they are a distressed city and will be keeping his $400.
Yes, I saw that, but I didn't get to read it all. So yeah,
you can't make this stuff up.
We're just gonna keep your money. Don't worry about it.
It's seriously $400. I mean, so that is like a tax increase on, well, they used to only be able to raise your taxes on property if you live there.
Right.
But now that they have an attachment to your, your payroll tax, it's unbelievable. I would be mortified if that happened to me. I'm not kidding you.
Oh,
I am just so overwhelmingly appalled at this. And now I'm on a mission to get the word out. But funny enough, Chucky baby and Jasmine, they all have their Facebooks blocked, so you can't make comments. So much for transparency.
Yeah. Weren't they just having like a meltdown about Brenton Davis doing the same thing? And they're like, hey, he's an elected official. He can't do that. Well, it's funny how the double standards are around here.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
I'll tell you what, I'm just on a mission now. I'll be up all night trying to figure out how many posts I can put this on of other people.
No, I get it. We the show's up and running. All our everyone's up and running except for X. There's nobody on X tonight. I don't know why that's going up with that, but
the bottom line, you can run, but you cannot hide.
Oh, I totally get that. And it's just an issue of, it's just like yesterday at that event. It was just funny to watch. The true old school politicians rubbing elbows, talking, high fiving, fist bumping, everybody. And then the little snooty little buggers standing in the back of the building looking like they're ready to kill somebody. Yeah, that's real warm and fuzzy.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's not just limited to the city. I work a couple campaigns out in the county, and literally I just got word that their community page is deleting posts that my own candidates have made to keep the opposing candidates relevant. And so now that's the other area I'm going to post about transparency, because it is unbelievable that this game is being played all over the county. And this is why Republicans it's time to fight back.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I mean, and I get that. And that's why that was the whole essence of why we started this show is
Yep.
to keep a voice that everybody can have. I had several Democrats come up to me last night. Could call your show. Call your show. Here's my number. I don't care. You're going to beat me up? No, I'm not going to beat you up. I'm just going to tell us who you are, give us your shtick, and
Yeah.
move on. I'm not like that. You know, I'm not that big mean ogre that the Sam Tallarico likes to paint me as, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's the one that looks like he wants to kill you. Any given time, I swear, if I saw him smile, I'd have a heart attack.
I literally had a Democrat post today asking me how I intend on getting the word out since our local media is totally against us.
Oh, I understand that.
Isn't that fun that
know that.
they're starting to take notice?
Well, because I think they're
So,
getting fed up, and you look at Erie News Now TV is not bad. Erie News Now online, they are horrible, and
atrocious.
whoever does their writing is probably in the 5th grade. I mean,
Well,
it's-
they bought they bought into a company that only posts CNN and Associated Press.
Yes.
I did speak to somebody there, and I tag Brian Lilly all the time saying, do
yeah,
you really not pay attention to the post?
probably not.
So he evidently is not.
No.
So
No, I mean that's old school broadcasting versus the whole new one big gob of goo doing the news.
yep. So tomorrow's a big day. You know, we have some races that need to be won, like Harry Morgan.
Yep.
You know, we're pounding the pavement for him out here because I live in Mill Creek and it needs to change.
Oh yeah.
So yep, lots of big races, and I can't wait to see the results on the Democrat side and ready to go. After
I
'em.
think people are I think there's going to be a big change. I know the primary is a primary, but and it'll be fun to watch the write-ins. How many people cross
Oh
cross
my
the street.
lord.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna take it's gonna take a shape of its own.
I got to agree with you on that one because I think a lot of people are fed up, but they just can't make themselves change the parties. My dad was a Democrat and his listen,
Yep.
I understand that and I respect it, but you guys are dying a slow, painful death. And
Yep.
we're sitting here watching you, and it's like a vacuum because when you guys go, we go too.
And you can't spell it out any quicker than is 60 years enough.
Oh, no,
So
I get it, but yeah, I understand.
all right, I don't want to take up
Yeah, you're
all your
fine.
time.
Yeah.
Got a lot of work to do tonight
Yep.
before tomorrow. So
All righty.
let's get out and vote.
Get out and vote. That's all we can do. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Bye. Let's see here. I had a missed call. Let me get back to that. I love how they're running all these ads on your phone now. I mean, you got to go through all this crap just to get to your phone.
Well, howdy, Sergeant Shank.
Okay, there, young lieutenant. You are live. What's up? What can we do for you tonight?
Oh, so much, so little, who knows? But no, I guess the first thing commenting on, I think Anna's comment earlier, I made a little thing about it, but it's directly coming from a former worker for the PA House of Representatives. It is directly against the House of Representatives ethics code to do any sort of campaigning on House time, and that includes the reps themselves. So it's an ethics violation if it was Bob campaigning anything before what is the local office close at, like 4 or 5 o'clock,
Something like that.
Yeah. So she said she thinks it was around 1:30 to 2. So arguably ethics code violation there with the House, but
Yeah, file the paperwork. It'll go through committee. It'll get looked at, and we'll
Yeah.
look at it next year. And they'll slap him on the hand, and say, "You know better than that. Don't do that."
Yeah, they'll send it to another guy. who
I know.
probably
I
thinks
mean,
something of it.
it's government. They, they're all buddies, and they're gonna take care of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought that was interesting, but also just yeah, obviously I had to call right before the primaries here, especially I'm very intrigued by my race. I really want to see who gets it. I hope similar to you. I think if we're being honest here of like based on merit on their side, it should be Brooke because the reality is she's the only one that has anything related to a finance background.
Totally agree with you.
Versus
That's why I made my decision. I like Ed. Ed's an old school politician. He's a smart guy, but I just don't think that's his real thing. Chuck, I mean, other than throwing rocks, I'm not even sure what he's qualified to do other than,
yeah,
you know, throw rocks
so
at people and call people names online. I mean, I think that's all he's qualified for. So
well,
then,
exactly. And if you saw the Erie, I think it was Erie News Now article on us, that it was I thought it was a fairly decent article. They reached out. We all sent in our quotes, and I found each of them had something interesting about them. So like Chuck's, for some reason, it didn't say. It said he had a bachelor's degree, but it didn't say what in. And it said he had this degree, and it just said bachelor's. And granted, that might have been on the reporter to like dig into, hey, what do you have that in? He might have just copy and pasted whatever Chuck sent in, but it's like it would be good to know that sort of information. And then like I think it was Ed's again to the same level of like you want to know more about okay, but what's relevant to this? So I even texted Brooke. I said like, hey, good luck tomorrow because I think if it's based on merit, it should be her, and if it's not her, then it's I really think her own party really just disregarded it. Just I don't know. I think it'd be disrespectful to her and the party's ethics if they don't go for her.
well, it's just the good old boy clique. It's the Erie good old boy clique because the Democrats already threw their support behind Chuck
Mm-hmm.
because Chuck's one of the movers and shakers and in the city of Erie. So they're gonna the Erie Dems are gonna support him, and that doesn't mean anything. That's the one kind of thing I do agree with uh, about the primary is the party should kind of keep their fingers out of it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because we want the people to make a decision. But here's the Democrats saying, nope, here's our guy, vote for him, vote blue no matter who. That's
Yeah.
their key. So that triggers them to just I'm blue, vote blue no matter who. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that I was pointing that out because my mom's not very involved in politics apart from obviously my campaign, but I point those out to her all the different forms of identity politics signs. I'm like, there's the vote blue no matter who. There's and of course Mirsky's using this a lot, but there's the when women vote, women win. There's so many of these, and it's like at least the when women vote, women win. There's at least a decent message behind that, in theory with it. But like it's there's some of them who just use it so shamelessly
Right.
that
No, vote blue
it,
no
it
matter who is just a generic coverall. At least the women, it can go either way.
yeah,
It doesn't say that just because you're a Democrat woman, vote for them. But at least when it says, when women vote, we win. Well, that's a two-way street because you get the Democrats, Republicans vote blue no matter who. Well, that's why Brenda came up with, hashtag vote red instead.
yeah, yeah, and it's just one of those. Well, at least I would even argue that vote red instead. Again, it at least has a message of like that background of, hey, look at what blue has done in the city. Vote blue, no matter who, has the indication of quite literally. It's like, I always joke with some of my family. They go, "Oh, how do you think it is running in the city for something?" And I'm like, "Listen, me or a rock, you never know. Like sometimes they will vote for a rock if it's a Democrat. Like it could be a literal boulder in front of you, but that's the whole vote blue no matter who. It's like it just doesn't necessarily take into account the kind of person, and we've seen that in some of these races. Like I would be open to some of those more moderate Democrats if they were the old school Democrats, and if it's I don't know, it's even though I wasn't around for the old school, I guess I have too much of the old school mentality. And my buddy, who unfortunately is a Democrat, he told me that a while back that it's just he can't be like that, unfortunately.
Gotcha. But all right, I got to cut you off here, young lieutenant. I got Tim Kuzma. He called in, so I'm trying to keep up. Everybody wants to say something for tonight. So, I know you don't need much luck for tomorrow, but, watch those numbers and keep marching on there, young lieutenant.
Hey, I did make a joke earlier that I said, if I, even though I don't need the luck, but if I somehow lose my primary, I'll donate every dime of my campaign fund to, we'll give it to, sure, it could be Chuck Nelson.
You and I would have to have words.
Yeah, good thing I can't lose tomorrow.
All right, I'll talk to you.
I'll see you.
Bye. All right, I'll call Tim back. I like it. The phones are all lit up. All of it.
Hello.
Hi, Tim Kuzma. You're live on the show. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? We're out putting up signs.
God bless your heart, brother. We're
We
here.
got the Maria Batista signs. We got putting off at the polling station. So
You are the man. You are the sign guru, my friend.
we will be out all. We got a lot of signs to put up. So half of the signs got pulled and stolen and whatever, and so we got to replace a bunch of them, and so
no,
we're gonna get it done though.
I appreciate that, and then, like I said, it's definitely a team effort. That's why, I was working on signs today, and I said, well, we're gonna do a Monday night get everybody pep rally ready to go, to get out there and get this thing done. Because, and a matter of fact, I have right on the screen, I have the picture of you and Maria in the back of your truck with the big sign. It's a great picture, by the way. Great picture.
And I'm in the front seat of the truck driving it right now. So
well, yeah. Go ahead.
I made this one extra beefy this year so I could drive it on the highway. So it's the whole front 2x4 is just full of dead bugs from the highway. So.
Oh man,
I'll be burning that piece of wood after this is over.
No, I agree with you. But Maria appreciates it. We appreciate everything you do, Tim. You are the sign guru, and so I'm gonna get clicking along here. We got to keep moving.
All right.
We had a lot of calls. A lot of people are excited. So be safe out there, my friend.
All right. Everybody get out there and vote.
Hoorah!
Thanks.
We got you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Mayor Longo did slide in here. So, we don't want to forget our folks down south. Mayor Longo is up for re-election. I got your artwork up in there, up on the screen right now. Let me get rid of that so we can read it. We changed your sign a little bit. We put Slippy Rock Mayor in there for you so the folks know where that good-looking smile works at. So, we're wishing you all the luck, and I am not concerned about your race at all, sir. I'm really not. I think you're going to do fine. But you've always played your artwork. We appreciate it when you call. We appreciate it when you video in, and we're going to send you prayers. If I could vote for you, trust me, I would, but I can't. So But I gotta play this. I gotta put this other little. Someone sent this to me. Can't see the bottom side of it. Could you take that scroll off real quick? Yeah. Of course, somebody, made this one, and it goes, MESA, Mesa. Well, that's kind of, I don't know if that's Spanish for mess, but yeah, make Erie suck again. Wirtz, Nelson, and Flores. That's so appropriate. Brenda, you got a video?
Comey put a hit out on Trump, no doubt. He was a Marine. He knows what 8-6 means. You can do 5 years if you're convicted of something like this. And if anybody besides Comey had done this, they would have already been visited by Secret Service. Tulsi Gabbard said
over 55% of respondents felt that murdering President Trump would be, quote unquote, somewhat justified. This study also pointed out that there is a, quote unquote, assassination culture that is starting to take over the views of what they call the extreme left.
Trump's already had 2 attempts. You can't let this fly. This guy needs to be arrested tomorrow.
And moments ago, President Trump responded. First, the former FBI Director James Comey accused of posting an online threat against the president, and the president giving his first reaction to Fox News. So that's where we begin today.
Comey posted this picture on Instagram, and he wrote, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." So the shells read 8647. 86 is slang for get rid of. And President Trump is, of course, the 47th president of the United States.
So obviously not sitting well with the White House, especially in light of the president surviving 2 attempts on his life. Comey deleted the post. He took it down. He says he did not realize that some people associate the number 86 with violence. Who knew, right? From a former FBI director. So last hour overseas with Brett Baer, President Trump says he ain't buying it.
Exactly what that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant and it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant, and he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country's become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he did.
Well, he apologized because he was hit. Look, he's a very bad.
What do you want
look,
to see happen?
he is a.
What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing, and when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop, and if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency, but I'm going to let them make that decision.
Katie.
Excuse me, Senator. Could I get your reaction to Trump
Yeah.
down on accepting the $400 million jet from Qatar?
I have zero issue with it.
You have zero issue with it? Do you
Zero
think it raises ethics concerns or national security concerns?
You ever been to New York and saw the Statue of Liberty? That was a gift too.
Do you have any safety concerns about, this coming from a foreign government?
So you know anything about safety and our security and our intel? Do you know anything about it? So do you think we're really going to take a plane and not strip it and put all the Air Force One stuff in it, even if it came brand new from the factory? If you don't understand that basic knowledge, then you probably shouldn't be reporting on it.
And now we are hearing from
You probably
Donald
should
Trump.
be reporting. You shouldn't be reporting on it if you know nothing about it, and that's what these talking head news people are, nothing but talking heads. And the people give them their little questions and off they go. Yeah, this whole 86-47 thing, 86 is an old term. If someone needs to be unalived, it's a code 86. There has been, believe it or not, I know this is going to shock you. I almost grabbed the video, but I knew we had a full deck of videos to play tonight. And, we were going to get a lot of calls, but we didn't want to stay up too late because I know I want to go to bed because we're going to get up early and go do what we do, get people elected. Is there actually standing outside protesting, yelling 86-47, 86-4? These people are just so full of hate, they don't even know what to do. They just every day find something new to hate on or hate about, or something that they think that's going to be the smoking gun that takes Trump out. It's not going to happen, people. Just focus on the country. Let's stop and just be Americans and fix this country. And that's what we need to do. So, yeah. Video, Brenda.
And now we are hearing from President Donald Trump about the diagnosis of former President Joe Biden and this aggressive prostate cancer. I want to put up this here on Live Now from Fox, from Truth Social, talking about this, saying Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the entire family. We will wish Joe a fast and successful recovery.
Do you believe there's no way he did not know that he had prostate cancer?
My condolences go out to Joe Biden and his family, but I have to say that in my expertise as a urologist, prostate cancer like this doesn't come on just overnight. This happens over a long period of time.
We know prostate cancer is the second most frequent cancer in men. Can you give us any idea of what Biden's prognosis may look like for someone at his age of 82?
Gleason 9 cancer is one of the most aggressive forms of prostate cancer there is, and can spread to different parts of the body very quickly. And so it is a kind of one of the highest grades prostate cancer that anyone could get. It's very unusual to hear that someone has prostate cancer where they're annually being followed up. And the fact that we just find it at a Gleason 9 is just pretty much unheard of in this day and age of medicine.
You're an oncologist, obviously incredibly respected. You believe that it is likely, just for those just tuning in, you believe it is likely, if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
So I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you are saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer, and why can't for the longest time Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make this a political football. I really, really don't. It's not a political item. But, I think we've been flamboozled. I think they kept a lot of things from us. I think Jill should be ashamed of herself for pushing him that hard, knowing that, he had some upstairs issues. And, of course, he's had some cancer issues. And, of course, we wish him the well. I was it made me disgusted that I saw some people online talking about, excuse me, talking about this and saying, well, see, he gets what he deserves. That is wrong, and it is double wrong. I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. That's a horrible thing to say. As a country, we need to do better. But I truly believe that I think Jill should be held a little bit more accountable for covering this up. And like the doctor said, he probably had it before he even became president. I'm not going to drill down on this. It is what it is. And, we wish them all the wells and well-beings that we can, and hopefully they can get through this. But
Pope Leo
Brenda,
XIV just detonated the conversation. Today, he reaffirmed what the world keeps trying to rewrite. Marriage is between one man, one woman. Abortion, he called it demonically evil. He also declared that truth must be spoken, even bluntly. No ambiguity, no compromise, just clarity. He didn't hedge, didn't soften, didn't flinch. Did this make you uncomfortable? Good, because comfort is how truth dies.
Well, no nonsense, Pope. I think something that we have been looking forward to. I think several of the last popes have been a little bit on the left side. Didn't agree with him on a lot of these issues, but unfortunately, they move on. Video, please, Brenda.
This is Dean Pepicello. I want to introduce you to my friend, Harry Morgan.
Thanks, Dean. My name is Harry Morgan, and I'm running for Mill Creek Township Supervisor. My friend Dean here is a supervisor in Harbor Creek and knows how important this race is. Mill Creek right now is in trouble. Between all the real estate acquisitions and deferred maintenance to our infrastructure, I'm running because I want to put us back on the right track. I'm pro-first responder, pro-education, pro-balanced budget. I would appreciate your support on May 20th. Learn more at harryforsupervisor.com.
Paid for by Friends of Harry Morgan.
Had a friend of the show text me tonight, Brian, what are we doing about the judges? So I sent down a list of judges, and they're like, Man, excuse me. What are we doing about Mill Creek supervisor? Harry Morgan, real simple stuff. He's got his head screwed on straight, business owner. I know he doesn't really support that whole big land deal out there. And, I think Dean and the guys out here did it right when they had the old Loblaws mall down here. They bought it, reasonable price, got it all cleaned up, sold it, and now they put that building on the tax rosters quick. We don't want to forget our friend Charlie Bale out in District 6. He's up for re-election. He does have a Republican challenger. It's Scott Rastatter. Scott had the seat. Charlie ran against him. Charlie took him out of that seat. So now Scott's running for that seat again. And my prediction is pretty straightforward. I think Charlie is going to walk away with a landslide out there. Well-respected a member of his community, a retired state trooper, Army veteran. He's just a go-getter. And I think Charlie has no problems. I don't know if he has a Democrat challenger. I think the Democrats usually throw one out there just to, do what they do. Let's see. We got Renee Venditti, candidate for county council. Talked to her yesterday. Lovely lady. I really like to see her get on county council. I think she'd be a good voice of reason. Be able to flip that seat would be great. And there's a whole rash of Democrats running, which is our buddy Jimmy Wirtz. I don't care if Mickey Mouse himself beats Jimmy Wirtz. I really don't. After how he treated me and it came after me when he was the chairman of the Democrat Party, and then of course don't forget our sheriff. Decent guy. I think he's going to make a good sheriff, and I like how he opens up all of his. I'm not a politician. Well, that's a good answer. So if you are a Democrat and you really, really like Jeremy, his social media is starting to build. He's like, Brian, I am not a social media guy. I said, well, we'll work on that. We'll get you going. But if you're a Democrat and you're really tired of what Campanelli's done down there or hasn't done down there, go ahead and write Jeremy in on the Democrat side, which is totally due. You can do that for anybody. If you're a Democrat and you want to vote for a Republican, write them in, and of course, I should have put a Steve Oler thing up, but Steve gets top billing tonight on the show. He gets the microphone button. And then, of course, his signs will be on display. Brendan and I will be working out here in Harbor Creek. And then we're going to help our good friend Mark Sleppy up in Summit. He didn't pull that video down, did you, of Mark? But if you didn't, don't worry about it. I see what's on deck. Go ahead and play that.
A recent Facebook post from Erie City Council's president made for a rowdy scene at tonight's meeting.
Tyler Gallagher was there at City Hall. He joins us now here in the studio with much more on what was said. Tyler.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Dozens of Trump supporters filled City Council chambers tonight, calling for Council President Jasmine Flores to resign. On October 28th, City Council President Jasmine Flores made a post on her personal Facebook page accusing 90% of Trump supporters of being racist, even comparing them to the KKK. And many local Trump supporters took offense to that comment.
I just think it's disgusting because when she is calling people who wear red hats the KKK without actually getting to know us, without taking the time to talk to us and understand our positions, it's actually racism.
After the City Council president made some comments on Facebook comparing Trump supporters to the KKK, dozens of supporters came out to the City Council meeting tonight in their red hats, and some even wearing shirts that say red hats, not white hoods.
Well, what this is showing that, yeah, we're wearing red hats, but we are not members of the KKK. It's okay to think what you want to think and to post what you want to post, but when you're an elected county official or a city official, you're held to a much higher standard.
Some Trump supporters in attendance took to the podium for some passionate remarks for the council president, calling for her resignation. And even after public comment wrapped up, some attendees got into an altercation with security needing to get involved. But Flores stands by her Facebook comments, saying she will not be resigning from her position.
I stand by what I said. You see something, you say something. If I made them uncomfortable because of what I said, maybe you need to readdress how you guys are approaching the community at large. City of Erie voters elected me at large within city limits, and I will not disrespect them by leaving my seat. I will be running for re-election.
And Council President Flores says the behavior at the County Council chambers tonight was unacceptable. Back to
Yeah, it was unacceptable. But don't worry about it. Oh, thanks for playing that. I put that together, and yeah, that's going to be one of the close races tomorrow in the primary. You got Michael Pace, you got Mark Sleppy up there. I mean, two great guys. They're both hardworking guys. I mean, it's tough. I mean, because I know that they both have a good rapport in the community, and I think it's going to be a real nail biter to watch who actually wins that race, because I can't. It's too close to call. I know that's I like to steal that from the big media. It's too close to call, but I think that's what we're gonna do. Then we'll go get through tomorrow. Then we'll come back on Wednesday, take out our notes, and we'll compare notes and see how good our predictions were. Or we have to order a nice peanut butter and whipped cream humble pie and have to eat a piece of pie now and then. Other than that, last call for calls. If you're going to call in, please do. If not, we're going to go ahead and bring this thing in for a landing, because like I said, I know everybody wants to go to bed. Everyone's excited. We got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. Got a lot of pamphlets to hand out, and people to talk to. And that's what we're going to do, is get our people elected, and then that way we can make Erie great again. Brenda, outro, please.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA! From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
All right, everybody, thanks for coming on this Monday evening. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. And I'm not going to say it any more times because you've heard it 1,000 times. Get out and vote. And special thank you, of course, again to my lovely wife that keeps all this together and makes the videos good. And I ask for a video, poof, it magically appears. And she lines them all up and boom, good order. So I appreciate everything she does. I appreciate you guys and gals. You make this happen. Let's see who won tonight. I'd have to go with, it was a tie between Facebook and YouTube. So yeah, we appreciate it. I will see you guys and gals Wednesday at 8 p.m. Shank out.